Hello, it's Friday's Talking Reds then. Me, Gareth Roberts, Neil Atkinson joining me. And before we have a chat about the Reds and about what's in the papers today, we wanted to say that we're feeling the love this week, which is sound, isn't it?
It's absolutely brilliant.
But people have been sending us stuff. So first, earlier this week, we got loads of crisps.
And I mean loads of crisps.
Loads, like boxes and boxes of these, all different flavours. These ones are chili and lime. There was jalapeno and cheese. There was hot chicken wings.
It's mad working in this office. So all these other businesses are like normal businesses where normal things happen. And then the people who work at Avenue HQ, they sort of knock on the door and go, got a load of crisps for you, just a load of crisps. And we're like, all right, sounds. Put the crisps over there. That's
mad stuff has come for you again, lads. Here's a load of crisps. So thanks to long-time subscriber Mark Gardner, not the lead singer from Ride, my favourite band, unfortunately, but someone who works for PepsiCo, and he just got in touch and said, I heard you want some crisps. So I thought, well, yeah, the lads probably do, yeah. So we've been bailing into crisps, so there you go, that's that bit done. And then this morning, Emily from Avenue HQ knocks and says, there's some tea for you, boys. And it came in this, and it's like Barry's tea wrapping paper. So I got really, really excited because I thought Barry's tea have finally got onto the fact that we talk about them all the time because it is a top brew and that. And I've literally rang them up and said, you want to sponsor us? We've got a show called Cup of Tea, any chance?
All Talking Reds, lads.
You know what I mean? But they just haven't got on it. But anyway, and it even looked like it was signed by Barry, didn't it?
The main guy.
But
the top fella.
So we got, it's here, look, it's 600 tea bags. 600 Barry's tea. So
got a bit of gold blend. I prefer the gold blend to the green ones, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I do.
Move as well. Yeah,
I do as well.
Yeah.
So we were really made up with that, and then there was a note inside. It turns out it's not from Barry. Nevertheless, we're still excited by it. From Kieran McHale, who is a subscriber as well.
Thanks, Kieran.
He won the tickets in the Liverpool Man City competition on Talking Reds the other week. He says, really appreciate your podcast. Keep up the quality work. Just wanted to get you all something. Thanks very much, Kieran. That's very, very nice of you.
We didn't realise it was a quid pro quo sort of arrangement. We thought it was a competition. You entered, you won, we go from there. But this now sets a marker for anyone who wins an Anfield rap competition going forward. We're going to need a present.
We're going to need a present. And you know, if you subscribe and just think it's that good what we do and that, feel free to send stuff to Avenue HQ, Man Island, Liverpool.
17 Man Islands. Don't know the postcode off the top of my head, but you can look it up.
Have we got the postcode?
L3 1BP.
There you go, yeah. So, yeah.
If Sam was in, we get him to pull a graphic now with that up, maybe flashing in some sort of way.
Send us stuff. You know what I mean? Why not? Okay, so let's have a chat about the Reds then. Swansea on Monday. On
Feels
Sky
like it's so long away.
It's ages away, isn't it? I sort of don't like this in a way because I hate having to wait for a game.
Yeah.
There is an opportunity, by the way, to go and watch a young Red side tomorrow at Anfield. Steven Gerrard's under-18s are playing the Arsenal under-18s in the FA Youth Cup.
You had a chat with Steven?
I had a chat with Steven yesterday. It was brilliant. When
comes back like this. It's great, you know, seeing Steven.
went over to Kirby and had a chat with him about this game, put a piece up on the site which you can have a read of. But it was really good because I just thought, you know, everyone's sort of assessing if Steven's going to be, you know, make the grade as a manager, if you like. And there was just little bits of this interview and I just thought, yeah, I'd run through a wall for him. Do you know what I mean? There's a bit where he was just going on about winning and he was like, you know, I think the question was sort of like, are you interested more in development and getting a kid into the first team or winning? And he's like, winning. I've always wanted to win. I want to win at Everton. I do. Winning's always been the Liverpool way since Shankly onwards. I want to win. No one's telling me it's not about winning. And I was like, no one is, are they?
No, but winning's also part of development, and I think that's a dead interesting thing. I think it's what, you know, we talk a lot about the club. I think it's brilliant the club don't put the under-16 results on the website or anything like that, the under-14s. But once you do get to under-18s level, well, part of the development is surely actually winning games of footy as well. Yeah, it is part of the process.
Yeah, and Steven himself has asked for this tie to be moved to Anfield, and he said the reason is that he wants to see how they cope with it, how they cope with the added pressure of it being at Anfield, how they cope with the pressure of it being them environments. And he said, look, I know it'll lift Arsenal as well, but good. You know, it's part of the development. Can they cut it in front of a crowd and at a big ground, because they're going to have to in the future if they want to make it. So yeah, get down to that if you can. £3 in, £1 for concessions, free for season ticket holders and members, 3 o'clock kick-off as well. So good way to maybe get the kids to Anfield when it's obviously a bit more difficult for the Premier League games and stuff like that. But yeah, Swansea on Monday, live on Sky. Swansea bottom of the league, 12-1 they are to win this game.
A home game, 12-1.
It's absolutely mad.
3 possible outcomes: a Liverpool win, a draw, or a Swansea win, and 12. Swansea are at home in the 12-1.
Bottom of the league, they've only scored 14 goals in 23 games. They've conceded 35. From a Liverpool perspective, Van Dijk's expected to be back. Yep. Henderson's back in training, but probably not going to be risked, I don't think. Moreno in contention for his place. What do you think on that? Because Robertson's played a bit of football, and he's probably just had his best game for Liverpool. So are you dropping him at this point?
No, I think you've got to be saying to Moreno, this is part of football. It's harsh, but it's the way it is. That you lost your place through injury. A lad's coming in and he's performed like this. If you're Moreno, what's good for you is on the horizon you've got the FA Cup game against West Brom, and you can say, well, you know, if you're the manager, can be saying to him, listen, you're going to have that game against West Brom. And then I think the next thing that you're looking to do then is Huddersfield's only a couple of days later, so you probably then go back to Robertson. And we're not far away, and I keep saying it, but we're not far away from a little run where we go, you know, where we've got we after Huddersfield, then it's Spurs a few days later, then there's another week's break, but then we're back to a little run where it becomes Southampton, and then 3 days later it's Porto away. And I think that you're going to see, I think that what the manager can take is he can constantly freshen at left back now. He can have faith that he can constantly freshen at left back, and that can only be a good thing. Yeah,
it'll keep both of them on the toes, wasn't it? You'd think, and they've both played well this season as well. I mean, I know there's plenty out there that still aren't fans of Moreno because of things that have happened in the past, but I think we sort of need to put that aside at some point and say he's played all right this season. He's done a lot better. Obviously, he's still had moments this season, even where he's had the odd nightmare. Seville away is probably one of them, but in general, he's done a lot better, and fair play to him. You know, it shows something about him that he's managed to bounce back and play as well as he did. Okay, other thing I wanted to briefly mention as well is the game Neil mentioned, the West Brom game, being confirmed that VAR will be in place for that game. That's still all the talk. It's in so many papers this morning again. This time, the latest on it is that...
You're so bored by it, aren't you?
Oh, mate.
You're just bored by it because you just think, well, at the minute we don't know what's going on. Let's just give it some time and see what happens.
They're trial on it, aren't they? They're trial on it, and inevitably with trial comes error, and that's what's happened really. I mean, you know, the latest is that the replays that everyone saw on the television of the Willian penalty that wasn't, the video ref never got to see those pictures, and so that's why I didn't highlight it to the ref on the pitch. So something went wrong somewhere. It's some kind of mistake, but mistakes are going to happen because it's new, and I sort of don't get why we need 5 pages a day in every newspaper about it. You know what I mean? I think
that's partly because of the nature of the newspapers. You know this better than me. I think
it's new.
It's new, but also too, it's sort of non-club specific, and that's quite a nice thing for newspapers to be able to do. So they're able to pile in on this. So the theory is, if you're reading the paper, you'll go through the back page of the paper. You want to read the Liverpool news, and you're not that bothered by, for instance, the Spurs news necessarily. Whereas this is theoretically something that everyone's going to sit and read, and I think that they're thinking about that. And it's all cynical's the wrong word to phrase it. It's just the way of the world that they've got to go down that route. I sort of agree with you in that at the minute. I haven't got any real confirmed view. I'm just sort of waiting to see. I'll be interested to see it in a Liverpool game because that'll be then living the experience of it. I think it's one thing to sort of have an academic thing about it, but living the experience of it. Let's say, you know, what's it like if the referee doesn't give a goal, that should be a goal, and then we get the goal. How does that feel? And what's your, or if that goes the other way, you know? And I think only when you've lived it properly as a supporter are we going to be able to have a supporter's view.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, we don't know how much it disrupts the sort of pattern of the play. What it's like to watch a game where everyone's doing this all the time and all that sort of stuff. So we'll see at that West Brom game, and no doubt we will be talking about it again. Okay, so that's the Liverpool section done. In a minute, we're going to talk about the papers. All right, the papers section then. The Guardian this morning with an exclusive. They're saying there that Chelsea have been accused in a FIFA investigation and could face a transfer ban with questions over deals for 25 players. Look into that if you're interested. Interesting that Chelsea, of course, could be banned from transfers, because on the same day that we get that, on the back of the Times, Chelsea may go for Crouch, which seems absolutely wild. The Mirror's gone with Blue Peter for
Clever.
That. See what they've done there. It's a bit of a mad one, this, isn't it? 36, and Chelsea are having a sniff.
They wanted Carroll, and Carroll got injured out for a month, and that's always the reason why you wouldn't go for Carroll. There's other reasons why you wouldn't go for Carroll, but that's one reason why you wouldn't go for Carroll. And so the next one on the list for them appears to be Crouch. He wanted Llorente in the summer, and it feels like they've just decided they need a physical presence, probably from the bench more often than not. Morata's dead interesting at the minute. I think he's finding it really hard. I think he's it's the first time in his career he's been asked to do a season of football starting every week, and I think he's just finding it difficult, and I think they're looking at alternatives. And you know, Crouch isn't cup tied for Europe, but it's still absolutely bananas. It really is absolutely bananas that Crouch at the age of 36, having had the career he'd have, would get that sort of move to Chelsea. The weird thing is he supports them, doesn't he?
Does he?
Yeah, he supports them, or at least his dad did. He's meant to have idolised Kerry Dixon and all this.
Oh, right, okay.
So it's all a bit Lambo to Liverpool, to be honest with you. Okay. And I do sort of wonder whether or not there's something in that, there's something nice in that. But yeah, I think that insofar as anyone's his club. I mean, I love the fact that Crouch has sort of played for everybody. Do you know what I mean? Like he's had some career moving around. I reckon they haven't unpacked some boxes, even though he's been at Stoke for 3 seasons. His missus has gone, we're going again, aren't we soon, Peter?
I mean, I sort of think like, you know, like his missus is from Liverpool, obviously, and I wonder whether she'd fancy London. I don't know, 36 going down there, and we don't like them, let's be honest. We don't really like Chelsea, do we? I wonder will it taint the lovely Crouchy image, do you know what I mean? Because we all love him, don't we? We all think he's a great fella. We'd love to get him on the Anfield wrap, and we've tried a few times.
We're all right with Chelsea these days, though, in that they haven't really got that many more lads who you despise.
Yeah. And the manager's all right.
Seems like a nice fella.
He's taken on Mourinho and that, so that sounds...
Honestly, I want to go to that game this later on in February.
Yeah, the way they're basically nearly having a fight is absolutely brilliant. Talking about other managers then that are all right and seem to be all right. Sean Dyche at Burnley, absolutely loving this. There was this bizarre suggestion that he's been eating worms. Soren Anderson, who played with him at Bristol City, labelled Dyche strange and disgusting. So this obviously got brought up in his press conference. And he just gets, he just loves it. It's all about why he's got this gravelly voice, you see. And he says, oh yeah, I also smoke exhaust pipes, I have gravel for breakfast, and those 3 combined often are the thing that keeps this voice sounding how it is. Getting right into it, he says, I didn't actually eat the worms, it was a bit of banter. I used to have, I've done it here and at Watford too, that you get a nice big juicy worm hanging out of your mouth, it wobbles, wiggling round, looks as if you're chewing it, and then you spit it out. But Soren has probably taken a bit too far. He's a good lad, though.
I like that he ends it with he's a good lad. Yeah. By the way, the idea that you're putting worms in your mouth is suitably mental. Let's not pull our punches here. It's not like he's gone, yeah, you know what I mean? It's obviously, it's all out of control. I have nothing to do with the worms. No, the worms are in Sean Dyche's mouth. Let's focus on that.
Not worms, but I've seen someone stick a load of maggots in the mouth.
Oh, man.
Because, I mean, like, I used to go fishing quite a lot, and seen this fella, and he was about to, like, you know, so you cast off and you float there and all that, and then you throw some maggots in around where you're fishing to attract the fish. But this fella's mate went, hey, I've caught something here, will you take a picture of it? And he just had this handful of maggots, and rather than just lash them in or put them back in the bait box, he just went and took this picture and then spat them back out of his mouth again and then threw them into the lake. And I was just like, he's just put maggots in his mouth. What's he doing? It's wild. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely wild. All right, last one on the papers this morning. Dave Prentice's column in the Echo today. Good lad, Dave. He's done a little thing on Marine, and we've never ever mentioned Marine on the videos. Marine, for those that don't know, are a Liverpool-based non-league club that quite a few of the Anfield rappers have a little bit of a soft spot for. I've been to a few games. I know Nevin goes to a few games. Cy Hughes goes to a few games. Andy Heaton. So yeah, there's a few of us that go to the odd Marine game. And he just did a little nice mention, I thought, in his column today. He says Evo Stick Premier Division Marine boast a very healthy average home gate this season of 356. Which makes the size of the support that went down to Dover for their FA Trophy tie all the more remarkable. Apparently 150 fans went all the way down to Dover, obviously a very, very long journey. Unfortunately, they lost that tie 4-3. But there is a little thing building up around Marine, around Prescott Cables, around a few of the sort of local non-league sides, and I wonder whether it's reflected elsewhere around the country of basically a load of young fans going and enjoying that level of football,
Blight
making
Spartans.
flags. And it's, Blight Spartans is another one. And I think it's really good. I'm really enjoying it. It's almost like this second life for lower league football, non-league football.
Yeah, I think it's a good opportunity for people. And again, weekends like this one, we mentioned Liverpool versus Arsenal before, weekends like this one where Liverpool aren't playing on Saturday or Sunday, if people do want to get the fix of football, you could do a lot worse than go and watch an on-league game. Relax into it and enjoy it, and try and see it like what it is. I mean, you know, we've had John Coleman even talking about Atkinson, who are a league club, but almost acting like it's a different sport. To a certain extent, it's a different sport. And I think that is an important thing to remember. It is almost like a different sport at that level. And take it on its merits. Don't take it up against what you're watching week in, week out, because you know, Roberto Firmino is one of the best people literally in the world at his job, whereas these are lads who aren't in that category, but they're still probably far better than the best player at football in your school.
Yeah, and it's also a different experience in that you can have a pint, you can have a chat with your mates. You're not sort of
have a chat to the players after.
Yeah, you can. You know, I've done that plenty of times. They're in the bar as well afterwards, and you can have a bit of a laugh with them. Also, as well, you're not as emotionally involved in it all. I mean, I'm mad when I'm at the match, I've got to be honest. But when I go to a arena, you know, it's much more relaxed, and I can chill. I can give a few centre-half some shit. And then that gets a bit naughty in the bar afterwards. But no, in general, you can just enjoy it. It doesn't break the bank either. So yeah, get out there, watch a game of footy this weekend. But before you do all that, listen to the Anfield Wrap, because there's three shows out today. There's our radio show, City Talk, is out there. AFQ, where Twitter asks us mad questions and a panel of Anfield rappers answer them. And there's the Team Talk. Those latter two shows are on Tour Player, which is £5 a month for around 40, 50, I don't know, the figure keeps going up, podcasts a month on everything to do with Liverpool, everything to do with football, everything to do with being a football fan. Give it a go. If you want to have a go, you can just sign up for a month, try it out, listen to all the old shows as well. If it's not for you, cancel. You've just lost a £5 and that's it. And most people stay with us as well, don't they?
Most people stay with us because what you do is you get in there, you might just think you're only going to be interested in the Liverpool stuff, but there's loads of other stuff. I spoke to a Swansea supporter for Team Talk, Guito, really interesting. His prediction, by the way, was 4-1 Liverpool, which I think tells you its own story. And there's lots and lots of stuff that's in there. Someone this week was praising the coach home, and just to mention that, just to give a thank you really as I'm on camera really, loads of the supporters of other teams who come, and what this woman who was praising it said was to hear honest but reasonable supporters. It's not people ranting and raving like 606.
No.
It's people saying, listen, this is what's going on with us, this is where we're up to. And I always find it really interesting to find out what's going on elsewhere, and we try to do that as much as possible. We don't want to give you maniacs, we give you people who love the club but can take a little bit of a step back and say this is where we are and what we're up to. Also, other thing quick, we're going to Scandinavia, so if you're watching from over there, we're doing a live show the weekend of the Southampton game. On the Friday we're at Stockholm, and on the Sunday we're in Oslo. There's details on how you can get all that sorted, and there's 20% off all Anfield Wrap merchandise at the minute. Look at this, 20% off that. I think it's everything I've got.
All the cells there, the AnfieldWrap.com.
Tick.
The AnfieldWrap.com, the shops there, the details of the Scandinavia trip are there. Loads of stuff to read as well, loads of really good reads.
There's going to be a great piece on Sturridge today coming.
A really good piece on Sturridge that you really all need to get behind. You need to read it, you need to retweet it. It needs to get more hits than the one time Craig Hannon wrote for the Anfield Wrap, which was about Daniel Sturridge. So do it for us. Don't let Craig win. That has been Talking Reds. See you next week.